Hello, it's Rob here. You may have seen me in previous movies such as how to set up Zoom and how to use Zoom via your mobile or tablet. This video is how to use Zoom using a laptop or a PC or some sort of computer that isn't a smartphone or isn't a tablet. And to be honest, this is the way we would recommend if you're able to. Zoom does work on a tablet, does work on a mobile, but obviously due to their size, what you get and the features you see are a lot more limited. And so, if at all possible, please do use it on a desktop, that is a computer, or on a laptop, and you'll get a much better view. Now, hopefully, you've installed the app for Zoom. If you haven't done that, please see my previous video of how to set up Zoom. But we're assuming we've done that, so we've got the app on our computer. We're ready to go. Now, how do we actually get into the meeting? So imagine it's one of the small groups, it's Focus, it's one of the youth groups. What do we do? Well, let me just shrink my screen down to size here so I can show you my desktop. We want to find where Zoom is installed. Now, on a Mac, we have this little icon page here, which you can get by pressing the button marked F4. So you'll have all your icons there. On a PC, you normally have all your icons on the desktop itself, and so you just find where it is. So you want to go into your icons. I'm just going to go across here and find Zoom, and then I click once on Zoom. But remember, if you're doing Windows, you'll have to find it another way. This is where it is on Mac. And so hopefully once you've got Zoom set up, you'll see something like this. This is your home screen. And then there's a few different functions you can set up, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just work out how we actually join a meeting. And so when it comes to joining a meeting, you are going to click this button. It might be worth getting into meetings a little bit early, especially in these first days where there's going to be a few teething troubles. So if, say, you've got Focus at 10 o'clock, just join 15 minutes earlier. It doesn't matter if you just have your screen on waiting for the meeting. It's worth doing that. So let's say it's Focus, it's 9:45. I want to join a meeting. How do I do it? Well, I'm going to click this join button here on the right. It's going to ask me for a meeting ID or personal link name. Now, for that, we need to get the ID for the meeting. Every meeting you have on Zoom has got a 9-digit code, and you will have been sent that before the meeting takes place. And at the moment, we're going to do that via email. So in the week, let's say it's Wednesday Focus, the Friday before, you've got an email. And the email will look something like this. Oh, look, I have a meeting here in my inbox. And it says here, St Mary's Basingstoke has invited you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. It's the St Mary's Basingstoke Zoom demonstration. There's only one person invited, and that's me. But you can follow it through the browser, as in your internet browser, by following that link. But we don't recommend that because it's a bit more slow and more liable for problems. So here's what you're looking for, the meeting ID. It's this 9-digit number, and I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to right click on it, copy it, but you could always write it down by pen and paper. Now, it's worth saying that there might be occasion where we have passwords for meetings. We're not planning to do passwords, but we may have inadvertently ticked that there should be a password. If there is, there'll be a number after that one, so just note that down as well. Now, before we leave this screen, it's worth saying that actually Zoom doesn't require a computer. So there's these numbers you'll find at the bottom, saying dial by your location. Now, these are local numbers, so they're charged at local rates, normally if you're phoning from mobile, included in your calls. And if you phone one of them, you'll be asked to enter your meeting ID, which is given here again. And if you type that number in and then press hash, and then I think you press hash again, it'll tell you, you can actually get into the meeting over your phone. So whilst we recommend everyone kind of sets this up on their computer, if you know people that haven't got internet or really would struggle setting this up, do give them one of these phone numbers because they'll be able to join the meeting over their phone. I've tried it. It's okay. It's not as good as obviously being on the computer, but it's probably better than nothing. And so that's a really good option if you haven't got any other options. But we've got the meeting code, we've copied that to our clipboard, we've written it down on with a pen and paper. If not, I'm going to come out of my emails and I'm going to go back to Zoom, and you'll see there it's asking for my meeting ID. So I can either type this in or paste it in. I've just pasted it in using just using paste. I leave all these boxes unticked and I'm going to press join. And then I'm going to join the meeting. Now, at the moment, this is a meeting with myself. Obviously, that'd be pretty sad if it was just me. We're not going to have meetings with ourselves. We're hopefully going to have meetings with lots and lots of people. Now, the most I've tried this with so far is 24, and it worked well. And what you get is 24 different boxes of people all over the screen. So hopefully we can do meetings, I think, up to 100. Now, while we're here, I'm just going to talk you through a number of different options so it works well for you. But just bear in mind that there'll be lots and lots of people, hopefully, in this meeting. I'm just going to shrink this camera so you're not looking at two versions of me. One is quite enough. So let's pop that in the middle. So let's work at the bottom here from left to right. First of all, we've got the mute button. At the moment you can hear audio, but if you click that, I'll be muted, and unclick it, you'll be able to hear me. There's a few other little advanced features which you probably don't need to worry about. Stop video, if you, for whatever reason, want to stop people seeing you, you just click that button, and your name will be displayed, and you just click it again to be seen. And again, there's some advanced features there. If you've got time, the virtual background is a great little feature, but let's not overcomplicate things. Invite is for, as you might imagine, inviting people if you've got them in your contacts. Don't worry about that too much. We're going to run by getting everyone to dial in, as I've shown you. Manage participants, I don't think is a feature for people who are in a meeting, just if you're hosting, so let's not worry about that. But if I click that, there'll be a whole list of people down the right-hand side of who's in the meeting. Let me just close that for now. Share screen. This is probably a little bit of an advanced feature, but as we become more comfortable with it, hopefully we use these sort of things. But if I click it, you'll see that on here I've got a choice of sharing some of my screens. So at the moment I've got my calendar as a window, and I could click on that and show you my calendar. You can even connect your phone and show you what's on your phone, or do a whiteboard. So let me try that. And here I can draw stuff. So if we're doing a Bible study, we might want to put a Bible verse in, and we could draw a diagram like that, or we can all do lots of little symbols and things like that. So quite useful for just illustrating what you mean. Let's clear all my drawings, quite enough of those, and then come back to that screen. Moving further along the right, the chat function here is useful for sending messages via text rather than speaking to everyone. You can also, if you can't do this at the moment because it's just me, but you can also select to private message someone. So if you want to contact someone in the group without speaking in front of everyone, you can click that as well. Let me just close that. The record function, let's not worry about. You can basically record meetings. The breakout rooms, you won't see this button yourself if you're just dialing into a meeting. But this is a function that I think we're going to use quite a lot at St. Mary's. The beauty of this program is that it allows us to come together in one big meeting, but also to break off into smaller meetings. So what we're thinking at the moment is if we've got a focus meeting, we're all going in at once, but I imagine that'd be 40, 50 people. Then someone will do a bit of input from on their own, and then we break into little groups, and the meeting host will do that. It's a great feature, and that's basically why we're using Zoom over other stuff. but hopefully that makes sense as we go through. The final thing to mention is the reactions there. So you can give a little round of applause whilst I'm speaking, or a thumbs up as well. So that's basically it. It's worth just saying that the mute function you might use quite a bit, because if there's 40, 50 people on here, you can imagine there's lots of people potentially who are going to speak and lots of sounds. So the meeting host will probably just mute everyone. And if you want to ask a question, either raise your hand or there's signal to the meeting host to do that. But it's worth just being aware of that because you might use that quite a bit. Okay, I think that's about it now for how to use Zoom. Most of it's pretty intuitive and you'll pick it up. But when it's time to end the meeting, either the meeting host will end the meeting and you'll find yourself out of the meeting, or if you want to leave the meeting before it's over, you just click this button, end meeting, and leave meeting. Let's just raise that up again so you can see me. So that's about it. If you've managed that, you've basically done it. So thank you for following me along so far. And I hope this is a really useful tool. I hope it works well for you. But if it doesn't, for whatever reason you can't set it up, or you just want to check something, or you're not sure, please do contact Tim Furlong, who will be more than happy to solve any problems you've got. But that's about it from me. So happy Zooming.